Ready, sir.
All right. Good
Yes, sir,
evening.
I'll introduce you.
Sorry, sir.
Very happy evening. Welcome to Dr. Mahipati Talks. As a series of sessions happening related to life skills, personality development, and language skills. We are here today with the eminent personality, Aurobindo KS sir, who is a mechanical engineer with an MBA in marketing management. He has more than 2 decades of rich work experience in the IT sector. His experience includes working for top-notch MNCs like GE, Oracle, and IBM. He holds various professional certifications in project management, agile methodologies, Scrum Master, and Six Sigma Green Belt. He now works as an L&D trainer at a reputed university in Bangalore, enabling students of engineering and management to hone their personal and professional skills. Sharing his life lessons and experiences, he is also pursuing his research in the field of marketing management. We are glad that sir has accepted to deliver a session on this VUCA world. Even though before COVID started, we had this VUCA as a very buzzword. But now after COVID, now we are in the process of COVID. VUCA has got a lot of prominence and importance. Thank you for choosing the right topic. Now I request Aurobindo sir to go ahead with the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mahipati Srinivasrao. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Anand, and thank you, Tushar, for joining the meeting. Appreciate that. So I'm, without wasting too much time, I will just share my screen and let's get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, today the talk that I'm going to share some insights about is on VUCA leadership. So don't worry if you don't know what is VUCA or why it is the buzzword. That's what we are here to, address and take some questions at the end of the session. All right. So before that, thank you very much, Dr. Srinivasrao. Appreciate that. I'll just put across my introduction as well. Know your facilitator. I'm a mechanical engineer with an MBA in marketing management. I'm currently pursuing PhD in agriculture marketing from Presidency University. And I have more than 23 years of experience, of which 21 years in IT and 2+ years in the field of training, education, learning and development. I sharpened my leadership and management skills at General Electric, Oracle and IBM, India. And I have proven expertise in IT management, leadership, project and program management, service delivery management, people management, IT operations in the last 2 decades. I have industry certifications like Project Management Professional, Certified Scrum Master, ITIL, Six Sigma Green Belt from GE and IBM. I earned Distinguished Toastmaster credential. I am a humorous speaking champion, award-winning public speaker, keynote speaker, coach, mentor, and trainer. And I'm just finished writing my first book called The Gita Way of Life, based on the principles of Bhagavad Gita. It is due to be launched next week. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. And other than that, I'm a voiceover artist. I'm a polyglot. I can speak about 5 languages fluently. I'm a singer. I can sing in 6 languages. I'm a traveler. I'm a foodie, movie and music buff. I'm a budding actor. My movie is going to be released soon. Though it's a very small role, I'm thrilled to see myself on big screen. And I'm a writer as well. So that's about my background. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Let's first, find out why are we here. For the benefit of the audience, if you have any questions, you may park it aside and we can have a Q&A session in the end. And I'd be very happy to take on all your questions and provide the answers to the best of my abilities. So let the presentation continue and then we'll have a Q&A session in the end. So why are we here? We are here to understand VUCA and its background. We are here to deal or cope better with VUCA situations. I'll help you understand and realize that. And some models and techniques to handle VUCA in your professional life, maybe some personal life as well, and to be a better leader facing VUCA. So this is why we are here today. Okay. Moving on, I'll just play a small video about VUCA. It's less than about a minute or so. Just have a look at that, and in case of any audio issues, please let me know if there are any audio issues so that I can get it fixed. All right. Now, gentlemen, you can unmute yourself. Let us make it interactive session as such. And if you can tell me, is VUCA coming soon or is it already here?
According to me, I would say VUCA is beginning. It is at its beginning stage. We are already witnessing unpredictable changes. So
Got that. Thank you, Tushar. Appreciate that. So VUCA is not coming soon. It is already here. How and why? Let's just discover. All right. Before I move on to what is VUCA and the details about that, let's trace back the history or the timeline of this VUCA and where and how it came into being. In the 80s, when the Cold War between the USSR, erstwhile USSR, and the US was at its peak, the US military and the Department of Defense at the end of Cold War, when the Cold War ended towards the late 80s and early 90s, they predicted that wars will no longer be between country to country. Wars will be between humans based on religious, cultural lines and non-state actors and people who have gone rogue, who does not have any nationality, who does not have any identity, who do not have any religion basis or anything like that. So basically, the war of the future is going to be very, very volatile, very unpredictable, very, very multilateral and multicultural lines. So they called this situation as volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Now, this was just within the circles of Department of Defense, US military, US Navy, and within the government of US. Now, what is this event? 9/11. 9/11 changed the whole equation of not just the landscape of US, but of the landscape of the global terrorism as well. And very soon, all these businesses and corporations and multinational corporations and everything else who were just doing business, they were faced with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity for the first time. They, or the business corporations and the organizations, started realizing that VUCA is no longer applicable to country wars like USSR and US or US and Vietnam and so on and so forth. The business world and the business situation and the organizations are no longer immune to this volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguities of the environment with which they operate in. The geographies, the geocultural politics, the geopolitical battles, and so on and so forth, everything came to being. And in 2001, 2002, corporations and businesses started accepting VUCA as a threat that they need to plan for, they need to account for, or else their business is going to be difficult. Now, what is this? The 2008 global economic meltdown. The global economic meltdown completely cut open the business world and the business situation of all the organizations across the world, regardless of whatever country, whatever field, whatever chosen business that they were in. They were completely split wide open, and everything became volatile, uncertain, ambiguous, and complex. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, as we can see, VUCA is not coming soon. VUCA is already here as I'm speaking to you. And to help you understand better, let's take the situation forward and see how we can identify, distinguish these things, and as a leader, as a professional, as an individual, what steps, what actions we must take to make ourselves VUCA proof. All right. Let's understand what is VUCA. I have already given multiple times the definition or the terms of what is the acronym VUCA stands for. VUCA stands for V as in volatility, U for uncertainty, C for complexity, and A for ambiguity. That's all VUCA stands for. Now, what is volatile? What is uncertain? What is complex? What is ambiguous? As we all know, different businesses, different countries, different political situations, different geopolitical activities and everything else, the ambit or the borders of volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity can change from time to time. However, I tried my best to simplify the definition for you, and let me define what is VUCA for the sake of this presentation, for the sake of this understanding between all of us. Okay, so volatility means nature, speed, volume and magnitude of change. Something that is changing or a change that is happening. The nature of change, the speed of change, the volume of change and the magnitude of change. And this change is not going to be easy. And this change with an unpredictable pattern is what puts the organizations or what puts the companies in the volatile mode. That's a simple borderline definition of volatility. What is uncertainty? Lack of predictability. Obviously, in the world that we are operating in, the whole world is become unpredictable now, more so with the advent of the coronavirus pandemic and the lockdown and the shutdown and so on and so forth. Everything has become extremely unpredictable. We are facing difficulty in using past data to predict what is happening in the future, because whatever we know about the past and the past data no longer holds relevance and is no longer in a position for any organization, for any government, for any political party or any politician to predict what is going to happen 6 months. Forget about 6 months. We don't even know next Monday will be a lockdown or a normal working day. That's the height of uncertainty that we are currently living in. Now, what is complexity? When you say complexity, if you see, everything is interlinked, right? For example, there is a lot of noise around ban China and Chinese products and so on and so forth. Do you think that's going to happen? I don't think so. It's not going to happen at least in the next 2 or 3 years, because there are so many numerous difficult to understand causes and mitigating factors internally within India, for example, to stay away from China and Chinese products, and for the world as well. The whole world depends on China, and everything is so interconnected that how much ever patriotic, how much ever jingoistic, how much ever emotional a response is, okay, I am going to be Swadeshi and I'm ban Chinese products and so on and so forth. Hello, not possible. The laptop that you're using is Chinese, the mobile that you're using is Chinese, the mouse is Chinese, your LCD TV is Chinese, everything is Chinese, right? So if you see the interlinked internal and external complexities, the cutting away becomes that much more difficult, and that adds to the complexity in which the environment, the business environments have to operate upon. Moving on to A, ambiguity. What is ambiguity? Lack of clarity. So something that is said, something that is done has multiple meanings, has multiple connotations, thereby confusing the people and leading to unclear happenings and very difficult to ascertain whether this is good or that is good. You don't know. That's what ambiguity is all about. So ladies and gentlemen, we just finished defining VUCA, VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. Now, I will just play this video. This video will tell us some of the properties of the VUCA, and that is what we're going to explain in the next coming slides with examples, and then how to deal with VUCA. Okay, this video is about more than 1.5 minutes. Just bear with me. All right. So moving on, that's what it is. And these parameters and the conditions that was shown in this video will be dealt with in this, forthcoming slides. And I would request all of you to unmute yourself if your background noise permitting. Let us have an interactive session. Let us play a small pop quiz. Okay, I will show pictures of some situations and you need to tell me what those situations are. Okay, what is this?
Demonetization.
Demonetization. Very good. Thank you, Tushar. What is this?
COVID-19.
COVID-19. Very good. What is this? I'm so sorry. Who is this?
Trump.
Trump. Okay. And what is this? What is the fourth one?
Is it Brexit?
Brexit. Satish, thank you very much. Yes, it is Brexit. Okay. Why demonetization, coronavirus, Donald Trump, and Brexit is shown? Okay. Let us cut open each of these situations because these are the major highlights that have happened in the world, including India, in the last 5 years. Yes. So let us see and then find out the correlation between these situations and VUCA. All right. Now, again, a pop quiz. Name the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of demonetization. What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear that demonetization?
Corruption.
Corruption. Okay. What else?
Long queues.
Long queues. All right. Very good. Keep it coming.
Exchange of notes.
Exchange of notes. Okay. Banned notes with non-banned notes. Okay. Or no notes. You see, it happened one fine evening, somewhere in 2016, right? November 8th, 2016. Suddenly, 8 p.m., our Honorable Prime Minister came on the TV and said, effective midnight, this is done. Correct? Now, all the things that you just mentioned did indeed take place. Long queues, corruption, I don't know about that, whether it was able to succeed or not, and exchange of notes and so on and so forth. And within the next 6 months, we had the good old tea seller on the street, or even the shoe cobbler, and even the guy selling you, tender coconut, willing to accept Paytm money. Yes or no? Right? So if you see, this was a sudden change in the ecosystem. Do you agree? Overnight, suddenly everybody were forced to let go of cash transactions and go digital. Paytm, GPay, Beam, UPI, you name it, credit card, debit card. All these years, I was trying to pay a decent transaction in a restaurant or a petrol bunk. People would refuse. Sorry, sir, machine not working. Only you have to pay cash and so on and so forth. And suddenly, now everybody started accepting digital money. This was a sudden change in the ecosystem. You look at the speed of the radical changes. People were overnight slapped on their faces and woken up and said, boss, within 3 months, within 6 months, you need to change yourself or else your business is not going to run. And then that increased instability. At least in the short term, in the short run, definitely it added to the instability. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the classic properties of V. V for volatility. This is a classic example of a volatile situation. Okay. Now, name some of the first things that come to your mind when you hear the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. What comes to your mind?
Social distancing.
Social distancing. Very good. From a business perspective, Tushar, for an organization?
Traveling.
Go
Business
online.
communication.
Sorry?
Go online.
Go online. Very good. Very good. What countless CTOs and CIOs of organizations could not do in 5 years. COVID did it in 5 weeks. Yes, no? All right. Some things, some properties this coronavirus pandemic has taught us. Unable to view and predict the future outcomes. Yes or no? For the first time in the world, starting from the world's richest Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, to Mukesh Ambani, to Narendra Modi, to Donald Trump, nobody is able to predict the future outcome anymore. Yes or no? What is this? Blurring of decision-making abilities. Whatever decision you make, that is going to be overridden, that is going to be overruled, that is going to be turned around 360 degrees, and you have to change. What is happening? Definitely unclear delays in projects and strategic planning. No amount of planning is able to sustain or predict the outcome of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic example for you uncertainty, right? But still, hey, life goes on. You have to work from home, you have to work from hometown. As a student, if you have to attend a class online, even my son, who is 14 years old, studying 8th standard, he is very proficient in Microsoft Teams. He's attending classes. Why? Because he cannot go to school. Why? Unpredictable. Why? Coronavirus. And even the school reopens, I'm not going to. The third situation. What comes to your mind when you see this Brexit? What happened here? Anybody?
And separation.
Separation of Satish, Tushar.
Maybe separation of people, like some people wanted to stay here and some people wanted to leave one particular place.
Okay. If you
GDP crunch.
Yes, please.
GDP impact.
GDP impact. Yes, Satish, absolutely right. If you compare the way things unfolded, for the Brexit voting and so on and so forth, right? Most of this Brexit war or Brexit election was fought on social media, and more than half of the existing UK population does not have access to the social media in terms of Facebook ads and so on and so forth. The seniors and the older people did not want this, and the younger generation and the Gen Y and the Gen later on technology biscuits, they wanted the separation. Now everybody wanted exit. Britain exit became Brexit. Now Britain exit became Brexit. Is it that easy to just walk out of a system that you have been a part of for the last 30 years? Is it that easy? Absolutely not. So do you see there is a difficulty in analyzing the causality of the data and incidences? How did this happen? How did Britain reach itself to this stage that it wants to exit? And as you can see, every 6 months, the date is getting postponed. Why? Because there are a lot of factors that are affecting situations. There are legal impacts. There are immigration impacts. There are people impacts. There is currency, GDP impact, like Satish mentioned. There are technology impacts. There are business impacts. There are renegotiations, recontracting, and so on and so forth. Whether to allow British citizens to enter UK, because under EU, many people could enter UK, work there, and go back to their home countries. Now that's not going to be possible anymore. All these impacts and the causes and the whole details have to be assessed, measured carefully, and then a decision has to be taken. As you can see, there are so many threads lying around, and it's not as simple, as easy as taking a scissors and cutting that. Okay, starting from January 1st, 2021, we are out of EU. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. Why? There are several factors affecting differently and simultaneously together, as a result of which the UK is still grappling to come to terms with the Brexit. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic example of complexity. Perhaps, in my view, they did not anticipate or the impact of this exit when this decision was taken. As you can see on the screen, the next image has already come up. Okay, What is the name couple of things that come to your mind when you see, not what is this, but who is this of Donald Trump? And why is he in this presentation?
His next term, elections.
His next term. Very good. Okay. Tushar, let's see. Hardship of proper interpretation. He is tweeting government policies. Yes or no? All of a sudden, he says, all the students who are attending online classes, go back to your country. Nobody saw that coming. And all the universities of major states started suing him. And he had to withdraw that order. All immigrants who are on H-1B visa, go back to your country. You are not welcome anymore. What is the impact to the country? What is the impact to the economy? What is the impact to the businesses? What are the impacts to the families and so on and so forth? He says, I'm going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. And Mexico says, why the hell do we pay? We don't pay. No, you have to pay. You are sending illegal immigrants. Again, you cannot make such blanket statements which will have multiple connotations. There is more than one meaning of underlying conditions. People don't know. And ultimately, he has withdrawn the statement that all the people who are attending online classes due to COVID pandemic, go back to your country. He has withdrawn that. Why? Because there is a lot of speculation, misrepresentation and misreading of the situation that is happening. His own advisors are against his own statements and they are saying something else. He is doing something else, and with the election coming in, and probably he knows his time is up and probably people may not vote him back for the second term. There is too much of ambiguity. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the examples that help you map out the VUCA that we are living in right now, and probably any more situations that you can come across, you can add to it and see that, probably this will qualify for volatile or ambiguous or uncertain or a complex situation. There are no hard and fast rules like it has to end here, it has to begin from there. It will be overlapping also, but one or more such qualities will be dominant in each of the situations that we got to deal with, and then we have to come out of it. All right. Moving on, how do we map the VUCA situation? On the x-axis, on the horizontal x-axis, if you see, how much do we know about the situation? And on the y-axis, how well we can predict the outcome of our actions. Volatility. We knew about the situation. What was the situation? 500,000 rupees band. Were we able to predict outcome? Yes, we were able to predict outcomes. Cash transactions will go. Everything will be linked to online. That was, the predictability of the outcome. Why is it volatile? Because of the speed of change. We were not ready. Businesses were not ready. People were not ready. However, everybody was forced to be squeezed through. The rate of change made the whole situation unstable and volatile. Uncertainty. Can we know about the situation? Coronavirus? Yes, we know about the situation. It affects, it's a pandemic, it's a global pandemic. Nobody is spared, everybody is affected. But can we predict the outcome of our actions? It is low. We can't predict. Hence, coronavirus is an example for a uncertain situation. Did Britain know about the situation before exiting? No. The knowledge was little less, and hence they are grappling with it. And can they predict the outcomes? Yes, they are in a position to predict the outcomes, that they should be out and they should, come out of EU and lead their own separate way. However, that was not, they did not know about the situation, and that led to complexity because of multiple key decision factors. And what is next? Do we know about the situation, Donald Trump? We don't know, because what change is going to make, nobody knows. Can we predict the outcome? No, we cannot. Why? There are different viewpoints, there are different predictabilities. That is what is making the situation ambiguous because of lack of clarity. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we map the VUCA. So, can you or your organization, wherever you are working in, escape the onslaught of VUCA? Definitely not. If your leadership style is like an ostrich, I don't see any change. I don't see any problem, hence there is no issue. Will that attitude work? Definitely not. That attitude is not going to work. Or if your leadership is blindfolded, I don't see the change, hence there is no change. Will this work? No. With this kind of leadership attitude, can you or your organization escape the onslaught of VUCA? Definitely not. Then what do we do? The way ahead for leaders and for all of us. What do we do? KPMG conducted a survey of 1,300 global CEOs in the last year, and it presented a report called as a 2019 Global CEO Outlook, and it included 11 of the world's largest economies in the world that are mentioned out there, and 11 key industries starting from financial, asset management to automobile to infrastructure to energy to IT and to technology, life sciences and insurance, all domains put together. It conducted a survey on the global CEO outlook for the year 2019, and the theme of this KPMG report was agile or irrelevant. It was a very clear-cut message to the entire world. 2019 onwards, this year's is still in progress. Either the organizations and the leaders become agile or you become irrelevant, and that is where the theme redefining resilience has come to place. And I can share the request. I can share the report with you if you want. It's available on the internet. I have the PDF file with me. So let me quickly put across the key takeaways of this KPMG report. A successful CEO is the agile CEO, one who is agile. Agility is the new currency of business. Why? Because you have to take into account the challenges of VUCA. Satish, I'll share with you. Failure to adapt to the constantly changing world will make business irrelevant. Though the opportunities look very exciting right now, they are set against VUCA environments and they have to be dealt so. Increased focus on agility is redefining resilience as disruption is mounting. As you can see, VUCA environment has disrupted everything that we have known so far, every business model that we have operated so far, and it is preparing us for the next set of world, which is completely VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Organizations must be comfortable disrupting their existing business model to continue to grow, or else they will become irrelevant. To master resilience, the leaders need to drive an organization-wide digital reinvention. And to be resilient, CEOs must apply constant pressure to change and adapt. As a leader, wherever you are, whichever organization you're working for, this calls for all these changes on your part to be done. And resilient CEOs, leaders need to be agile, adaptive, and willing to challenge the status quo. So in a nutshell, agility is equal to resilience, which is equal to successful business. How to develop this agility? I'm going to share one model with you. This model is called the AGILE Model. This is from a consulting company in the US called as Agility Consulting under the aegis of Strategic Agility Institute, SAI, and they have proposed this agile model that I'm going to share with you right now. Agile in this context only, for the sake of VUCA as prescribed by Agility Consulting Company, A stands for anticipate change, G for generate confidence, I for initiate action, L for liberate thinking, and E for evaluate results. So how to be agile in this whole environment, including people, processes, and technology. So a very catchy and easy to remember acronym for all of you. Agile model, Agile PPT. Anticipate change, generate confidence, initiate action, liberate thinking, evaluate results using people, processes, and technology. PPT. Agile PPT is the model as proposed by this organization called Agility Consulting. Now, in anticipate change, as a leader, what you should be doing. What you should be doing, what is expected of you is the leader should be able to interpret the impact of business turbulence. In generating confidence, create a culture of confidence and engagement with all the stakeholders. Initiate action, what is expected, provide and fuel the systems to make things happen. Liberate thinking, produce the climate for innovative solutions, and evaluate results. Focus and manage the knowledge to learn and improve. How to do it? Anticipate change. The leader has to have a sense of vision, sense the data, and anticipate the change that is coming and monitor the data to be able to be prepared for facing VUCA situations. How to generate confidence? By connecting, by aligning, and by engaging with internal and external stakeholders within and outside the organization. How to initiate action? The leader must have a strong bias for action, must have strong decision-making capabilities and collaboration capabilities across all the stakeholders involved. Liberate thinking. Promote a culture of innovation. Promote customer focus and idea diversity. Sometimes the most profitable ideas come from the least likely sources, as a lot of examples in the business world have shown. And evaluate results. How do we do it? Create expectations, set real-time feedback, fact-based measurement, and then go back to anticipate the next change, run through the whole cycle. This is a whole cycle with a lot of questionnaires and how to assess and all those things that cost about $50 or something like that. And I don't want to include that as part of this discussion. I just want to give you a brief overview. You can go to agilityconsulting.com and probably read through some of their white papers and all those things. That's where I got my knowledge from. So you can also do that. Having said that, how do we deal with VUCA finally? When the leader is able to convert volatility into vision, convert uncertainty into understanding, convert complexity into clarity, and convert ambiguity into agility. This is the best method to handle VUCA. When you stop looking at VUCA as volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, and start looking at the change, start looking at the transformation of yourself and your organization as a leader, move from the mentality or the mindset of volatility to vision, uncertainty to understanding, complexity to clarity, and ambiguity to agility. That is how you are going to be VUCA proof for the next coming at least couple of years to come. And then as you grow, as you experience more, you will be able to figure out a way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I come to the end of my presentation. 50 minutes was given to me and it's about 46 minutes now. And I'm open for any Q&A questions that you may have.
I would like for a question, and
Yes,
so my question is, as we are witnessing some uncertain things happening now, and we also know that the historical data is no more valid, and we also know even if the COVID pandemic ends or vanishes very soon, or maybe not soon also, the historical data is still not valid because the further changes are, we will witness a lot more changes ahead. So how will a business, or how will engineers, or how will technology predict things? Because in these days, before the COVID-19 pandemic, this prediction was a trend. Every company was using prediction, and now as the historical data is not valid at all, so what will be the future of this?
Okay. Thank you very much, Tushar, for that question. And for the benefit of everybody, let me rephrase what I understood. Tushar, I'm going to rephrase your question. Please tell me if I understood it correctly. So basically, a lot of things are going to change, yes. And the so-called predictive models or the predictions of the organizations that used to happen in the past no longer are relevant. So in that case, what to do next for the organizations? Did I understand your question correctly?
Exactly. Perfect.
Okay. Tushar, let me put it into the best of my ability and see if that answers your question. If it does not, you can connect with me offline and I'll be happy to answer your question. Now, Tushar, and for everybody, yes, these are unprecedented times. In the last 50 or 100 years, we have not witnessed what we are currently going through. Probably for the next coming 50, 100 years, we might be the only generation that would have passed through this whole pandemic and everything else. That being the case, the older models, the older business models, the older predictive models are no longer relevant. All the aircrafts are grounded. There is no flying. Aircraft industry has gone almost bankrupt. Banks are merging. They are scrambling for money. Real estate is completely in a disarray. That being the case, how do we take this forward? What does the future has in hold for us? This is a wonderful opportunity to think afresh. This is a fantastic opportunity to be within the boundaries of VUCA and still innovate. For all we know, if you talk of masks, if we talk of PPE kits for medical facilities and so on and so forth, if we talk of medications and everything else, even though we don't know how serious this virus can affect, we know throat, fever and lungs and all those things. We don't know what is the effect on the circulatory system. We don't know what is the effect on the nervous system. We don't know what is the effect on the kidneys and the vital organs. We don't know. Why? Because nobody knows. Why? Research is still happening. The virus is still mutating. The virus is still developing and gaining different strains. Now, what does that call for? Either you get scared of VUCA and keep at home, or treat this as an exciting opportunity to create new business models that did not exist before. You may fail. So what? You may fail. Move on. Develop more innovation and come up with more different predictive models. Come up with different technological, innovations and technology solutions that did not exist before. That is the mindset. That is the agility. That is the attitude that we must develop to make the best out of this situation. I'm not sure, Tushar, if I was able to make sense to you or not.
No, this was a great answer, and I understood quite a lot.
Okay, thank you. Tushar, if you want, you can connect with me later on as well. So I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, anybody else? Madam Gayatri, Mahipati sir, Satish, thank you for joining. Appreciate that, Satish and Tushar.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn.
Sure, Satish. You can, I will give you my mail ID. You can mail me. I will mail you back the KPMG report.
Sure, sir.
That's my email ID, Satish. I just put you privately. That's my Gmail. Just send me a hi message. I'll share the KPMG report. If nobody has any more questions, back to you, Dr. Mahipati.
Thank you so much, Aurobindo sir. It was a wonderful session. In fact, you made us to be global, think global, and act local. You made it simplifying this VUCA world, how it is going to happen, what we need to do. Because right now we are in the same situation. Everybody is sailing the same boat, especially when it comes to the industries, employees, corporate. Everything is in the same situation. You explained clearly that what is the situation and what you need to take action also. Call to take action you are given. Wonderful. The answer that when you gave and Tushar asked also, you know that, no? You cannot keep, you cannot stop doing it. But what you need to do is also very important. And as we know that the businesses which were there flourishing well, now they are not doing well. But the other businesses are still flourishing well. There is employment generation in other areas. And very good for your positivity. And also, as you rightly mentioned that China products cannot be banned. As you rightly said that, people are thinking, and I sometimes feel it's crazy to think like that, because right now whatever I'm using, maybe all the equipment is China, so it's not possible. Yeah, you can unmute, sir.
I'm sorry, including the Zoom call. The Zoom is also Chinese. You can't. You just can't be blind. You can't say that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for enlightening all these things, because we need to live with the world, go with the world, and we are talking about globalization rather than localization. Maybe local innovations are happening that we appreciate, but at the same time, let us not have a competition and compete with other people and lose our own things. Right now, we don't have the alternate for Zoom right now. There are n number of platforms are there. We don't have all the features. Still, innovation is happening. Hope that will function well. And thank you very much for throwing a lot of light on VUCA world. And I'm sure that this will help many entrepreneurs and also the businessmen to understand the society and go ahead. Thank you very well for your valuable time, sir. I thank Gayatri Mahipati, Satish and Tushar. Especially both of them were actively participating in the things. Thank you for everyone. Thank you. Have a great time, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.